Judge, I think this is a situation where my client greatly regrets what he did. It's a situation that got out of control.
So why did it come to this?
I wish I could have made it different. My son was in the car with me. I was worried about his safety 100%.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but I still don't understand how an argument on the road comes to a pulling of a weapon. I just don't understand that. Here it says that you pulled out a handgun with a silencer attached to it and opened fire. Am I reading that incorrectly?
He had
Right.
gone and met his family for dinner.
On this night, everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
This former officer walked into court after a road rage incident that spiraled completely out of control. Instead of walking away, he made one of the worst decisions possible. He's now facing serious criminal charges after confronting another driver and letting ego take over. What makes this even more concerning is that he'd already been fired or forced out of law enforcement before this ever happened, which immediately raises red flags. From the start, Judge Boyd isn't buying performance and begins digging into his background almost right away. This is one of those hearings where whatever authority he thought he still had vanishes the moment the facts hit the table. Let me know in the comments. Do you think someone like this deserves prison time, or should he get leniency because he used to be a cop? Let's get into it.
All right. Counsel, have you received all discovery and did you review it with your client?
We have and we did, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
Did you review the court admonishments with your attorneys? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand in count 1, you're charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? That is a second-degree felony. Range of punishment, just one second. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. By entering this plea, you're giving up those rights. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Smith, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? If you're not a U.S. citizen, by entering this plea, you will be deported, denied naturalization, and reentry. Did you understand? Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. According to the plea, there's a $1,500 fine. State is proceeding on count 1 only. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. There's no application for community supervision. You don't qualify for community supervision legally. There is an application for deferred adjudication, and the state is recommending deferred adjudication. There's to be restitution, if any, to the complainant. Did you understand that to be your plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
It is, Your Honor.
State?
Yes.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 5 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours of community service restitution, no contact with the complainant, MRT, anger management, driver safety and gun safety courses, forfeit the weapon and horseshoe bay badge credentials, no firearm possession, no law enforcement employment. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the offense in count 1, how do you plea? After reviewing state's exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything from defense?
Judge, I think this is a situation where my client greatly regrets what he did. It's a situation that got out of control. And I think based on his background and age, it's one of those, we should have made much wiser decisions. He doesn't have a violent background. And I do know, and I think the court can tell from how he's answering questions, there's quite a bit of regret in this entire affair, Your Honor.
All right. So why did it come to this?
Your Honor, it was just a messed up situation that night. I wish I could have made a different decision. My son was in the car with me. I was worried about his safety 100%. And a minute that hasn't gone by since this has happened that I wish I could have made a better decision that night.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but I still don't understand how an argument on the road comes to a pulling of a weapon. I just don't understand that. And they're asking for a driver safety course. They're asking for a gun safety course. They're asking that you forfeit your Horseshoe Bay badge credentials. And they're saying that you flashed a badge and that you were no longer employed with them. So I'm just trying to figure out what conditions would be appropriate for you. This is why I asked these questions, because
I only
there's a lot listed.
used the old time to diffuse the situation. I thought it would help. That was it. There was no other reason behind it.
Why did you still have the badge?
It was given to me by my chief of police at the time as a memento, because that was my first job there before I went to Border Patrol.
This entire situation just feels off. It's hard to believe this incident came out of nowhere. The fact that he was already out of job before it happened only makes it worse. People don't usually get pushed out of positions like that without a reason, and now the pieces are starting to connect. Even now, the way he carries himself makes it seem like he still believes he has authority, like the badge still means something. And that's honestly the scary part. Ego can turn a split-second decision into a life-altering mistake. It's also a reminder of how dangerous road rage can be. You never know who you're dealing with. But Judge Boyd clearly isn't focused on his excuses. She shuts them down almost immediately and goes straight for the facts. Do you think this was a one-time blow-up, or are we just seeing the mask come off?
So where do you work now?
I've left law. I left Border Patrol in 2016. I went back to construction. I'm a home inspector for new homes. Until this happened, I was planning on going back to actually apply for ICE. That's null and void.
I mean, but here it says that you pulled out a handgun with a silencer attached to it and opened fire. Am I reading that incorrectly?
No, so Judge, he has a suppressor, and so his parents live near Kerrville.
Okay.
That's what the mother and father, they had gone out to her birthday celebration that night. He was going home with his son, and they have it's in a rural area, so they actually have kind of a setup where they do target practice. The suppressor has more to do with not making loud bangs. That's why he had, and it's legally owned. He's got the stamp for it. I have it in my file back, trial file. It's not illegally possessed. Otherwise, I guess the feds would be involved in this case, Your Honor. That's why I had the silencer. I can tell you that there was a perception on my client's part that the kid was tailgating. Then there was a brake check, which you can see from the statement and the police reports. And then the kid comes around really close, rolls down his window, honks at him, yells, starts cussing, and it kind of goes from there, it goes kind of south. I think my client thought he could handle the situation. He thought he would diffuse it with the badge. That didn't work. And then at the moment when this all happened, apparently the young man had a phone in his hand. This was at night, and he made a gesture kind of with his hand to the side, which at that moment in time, my client, who was already kind of freaked out, thought it was a gun. And this was an apparent danger case, Your Honor. Police didn't find a gun in the kid's car, but that's what we saw. We actually, in the subpoenas, dug up extraneous acts where the kid had gotten in trouble at school for posting shots on social media with him with guns. And he's holding it the same way he was holding the phone. When he's talking to the police officers, he's holding it, and he's pointing like this. So that's the gesture my client saw in that moment. He made a mistake. We've spent a lot of time on this. The state has spent a lot of time. They showed us a new witness who was the girlfriend of the young man in the car at the time. that nobody had ever found. We'd always wondered, why weren't they looking for the girlfriend? We couldn't find her. We didn't know her name. Ms. Alban did a great job preparing for trial. And that's kind of why we're here today, Judge. I think both sides have kind of met in the middle. Again, my client doesn't have a violent background. It's just thank God that he didn't hit the kid. So that's why we're here.
Oh, is there something else?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure it's clear. The gun was in the car because of going out target practicing, but he had
Right.
gone and met his family for dinner, and he was going home, and they were in the back seat of the car, in a bag. You know, it wasn't as if he, routinely carries a gun.
He had been target practicing at his parents' house prior to dinner. He actually had a concealed carry permit, which he's since had to relinquish. The state revoked because of this.
Is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else from the state?
Payment is happy with this resolution. I would, the court would like to hear now, I do have a restitution amount, but on the judgment, if you would like.
Yes.
It's $2,463.82.
I'm sorry, just 1 second. If you could repeat that?
$2,463.82.
So is there any disagreement on that restitution amount?
No, I think that was part of the discovery. And we actually had the receipt from the repair shop, Your Honor. There,
And where will you have that restitution amount?
Judge, I think it's going to take a couple of months if the court would entertain that. He started this job about June, maybe, and so there's been some lag time. And I mean, he is the independent contractor, so lag time in taking the jobs and getting paid. From the
All right, just 1 second. Excuse me. Everybody on this side, y'all need to move because probation can't see and they can't hear what's going on. All right, so when do you think it will be, and state your excuse. When do you think he will have that?
If I had, I would say a minimum 2 months.
Yeah, minimum, 60 days.
And that's 60 days from today?
What really stands out to me is how casual he seems about the financial consequences, despite facing serious charges. If I were in his position, I'd be doing everything possible to show the court I was taking responsibility right away. Waiting months to make things right feels dismissive, especially when someone else's safety was involved. It almost comes across like he still expects the system to cut him a break. Judge Boyd seems to notice that hesitation too, especially when he mentions needing 2 more months. This isn't a parking ticket. This is a case involving real danger. I might be reading into it, but that delay says a lot about his mindset. If it were me, I'd put on a credit card, take out a loan, whatever it took to handle it immediately. Let me know if you think that delay makes him look worse.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court, and I'm going to tell you, I was considering sending you to jail as a condition, but the state is saying that the complainant is in agreement to this being your sentence. So you can thank the complainant for that. Because sometimes I feel as though people need to have a chance to be alone in their thoughts at the jail to consider everything that is what they've done. And it appears that you've taken that into consideration. And it appears that on this night, everything that could go wrong did go wrong. But don't brake check people. People don't like to be brake checked. That's just my experience from driving. All right, 5 years deferred adjudication, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs. And I'm sorry, what do? You said you're in construction?
Yes, we have new home inspections.
All right, he can do regular random UAs, or either you can do the patch. The patch costs more, but with the patch, it gives you more freedom because probation will put it on and probation will take it off. Patch costs more though. So you can either do regular random UAs or the patch. Proof of employment within 45 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider with minors. 120 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to require parenting classes. Once you complete that, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. MRT, the anger management course, you're to forfeit the weapon, and you're to forfeit your horseshoe bay badge credentials. There's to be no firearm possession. There's to be restitution in the amount of $2,463.82, and that's to be paid in full within 60 days. There's to be no contact with Joseph Pettis. There's to be no employment with law enforcement or any type of security. There's to be field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. Are you here in Bear County?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right. And I'm sorry, there's a $1,500 fine that will be probated. Is there anything else that you need from the court?
Yeah, Judge, in regard to employment, if some of the jobs are out of county, I know some are in contiguous counties, but if they're further, can he get permission to do that if he shows probation where he's going?
Yes.
Okay.
Probation, he's allowed to work throughout Bear County and other counties, but you'll need to provide notification to probation that you're going to be working out of county. Working in county, that's fine. But if you're going out of county, you need to let them know. All right. Is there anything else?
And I just, actually part of the plea bargain was actually to not only just waive, but to actually dismiss the set count 2. I don't know if that was clear. You did do it. You waived it, but that is part of the inducement for the plea is that, and it was to be.
Oh, I've already said that it's been waived. It's on the record.
No, I understand that, but I'm just being hyper-technical.
No. I understand what you're saying, but I put on the record that
Yes,
it was waived and you all had no objections to it being waived.
correct,
So
correct.
it will not come back.
Okay,
It's not allowed to come back.
there you go.
'Cause-
That's what I
All
want.
right.
All right,
Thank you.
sorry.
No problem.
All
Did you, and I'm sorry, there's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. All right, we can go off the record. In this court, communication with probation is key. If there's an issue, you need to let them know about it. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can always come back and address it to court. But whatever you do not disappear on probation. That's not a good look. You understand? All right, good luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm honestly torn about the outcome of this case, and I really want to hear your thoughts. Someone used authority they never should have had and put another person in danger over pure ego. What stood out the most, though, was the victim's restraint. Even without seeing him, you could feel how calm and composed he remained, showing a level of mercy I'm not sure I could manage in that situation. At the same time, it's hard to understand extending mercy to someone who made such a reckless choice. This case really highlights how much influence victims can have on outcomes, even when the law could be far harsher. It also forces us to question who we trust with authority in the first place. So tell me, if you were the judge, would you have shown that kind of mercy, or would you have made an example here?